Hello, friends. If Rome's earlier problems were thunderstorms, the 3rd century was a full-blown hurricane. Imagine living in a time when a new emperor could pop up faster than a bad meme and disappear just as quickly. Welcome to the crisis of the 3rd century, where chaos ruled and emperors dropped like flies. It all kicked off after the death of Emperor Alexander Severus in 235 AD, who was, fun fact, murdered by his own troops. Why? Well, they thought he was too soft, especially when he tried to negotiate peace with invading Germanic tribes instead of, smashing them. After that, Rome entered what can only be described as an imperial version of musical chairs. Over the next 50 years, the empire would see 26 emperors officially recognized, and even more wannabes trying their luck. Most didn't last long enough to even get their face properly minted on a coin. One poor guy, Emperor Pupienus, yes, that's really his name, historians had a field day, was assassinated after just a few months. Another, Emperor Gordian II, died fighting after only 3 weeks on the throne. You could barely unpack your imperial sandals before someone was plotting your downfall. Meanwhile, Rome was being attacked from all sides. Germanic tribes battered the north. Persian kings gleefully invaded the east. Plagues tore through cities, reducing populations like a particularly grim game of subtraction. Oh, and let's not forget the economy. It collapsed harder than a Roman feastgoer after too much wine. Coins were so debased that they were practically tin tokens. Inflation skyrocketed. A loaf of bread could cost you your life savings, if you were lucky enough to find bread at all. To make things worse, the empire started to split apart. At one point, there were 3 separate Roman empires operating at once. The Gallic Empire in the west, modern-day France and Britain, the Palmyrene Empire in the east, led by the fascinating Queen Zenobia, we'll definitely meet her later, and the official Roman Empire, desperately clinging to Italy and a few surrounding provinces. It was like a badly run group project, and no one was answering messages. So how did Rome survive this swirling vortex of doom? Enter Emperor Aurelian, the restorer of the world. With a will of iron and an army to match, Aurelian smashed rebellious factions, reconquered lost territories, and even began building giant walls around Rome itself. Because at that point, even the Eternal City needed a little extra security. Unfortunately, Aurelian's story ended the Roman way: betrayal and murder. But by then, the worst of the crisis had passed. Rome was battered, bruised, and gasping for air, but it was still standing, barely. The crisis of the 3rd century left deep scars. It revealed just how fragile the empire had become and how desperately it needed stronger leadership, and perhaps deeper wisdom. Because as swords clashed and empires rose and fell, a quieter battle had always been brewing, a battle of ideas. Philosophers had long wrestled with questions about duty, virtue, power, and fate. What should a ruler truly be? What did it mean to live a good life amid chaos? In our next episode, we'll step away from the battlefield and into the marble forums and dusty scroll-filled libraries to explore Roman philosophy, wisdom in the forum, featuring big thinkers like Cicero, Seneca, and yes, our old friend Marcus Aurelius. Get ready for some serious brain food.